Elon says get your butt back to the office.
Good. As a Tesla investor, you would probably want to hear something like that. Here's a growth company with a high valuation. Get your butts in the office and get to work.
Listen, you know where I stand on this. I think he's right. Get back in the office.
He commented on a Twitter post showing a leaked email to Tesla office employees that said remote work was no longer acceptable, saying employees unwilling to comply with office work should pretend to work somewhere else.
Are we going to bet on the individual who's had a track record unparalleled in business, or are we going to go with a philosophy that may or may not be true?
The autos, I think, overall are going to do poorly, except for Tesla.
In this video, Elon Musk's leaked Tesla email causes a shitstorm tsunami. Tesla stock and the wider stock market continue to swing around more wildly than an unrestrained meat club. Don't think about that too much. And Jim Cramer hypes up Tesla and Tesla stock once again. So let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment theme merch in the merch store, so check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. First up today, Tesla stock up almost 5%, over $30 per share, closing at $775. Last 5 days, Tesla stock up over 17%. Last 1 month down almost 15%. Last 6 months down almost 25%. In other words, Tesla stock continues, as expected, to remain extremely volatile. And once again, I've got to say it, still looks like the bargain of the century, in my opinion. Tesla stock was buoyed with the rest of the stonk market today. Nasdaq 100 up almost 3%. Apple close to 2%, Amazon stock up over 3%, Alphabet, Google's parent company, up over 3%, the ARK Innovation ETF, which apparently is going to zero, according to lots of people who have very short memories and are driven by their emotions, miraculously up over 7%, the last 5 days up almost 12%, yet year to date down over 50%. Rivian up a whopping 5.6%, and Lucid up over 2%. Seems lately it's either a sea of red or a sea of green in the stock market. Now onto the shitstorm tsunami Elon Musk's leaked email cracking the whip with Tesla and remote work has caused in the mainstream finance media. It's been a mixed bag of reactions. It seems this is a very hot, contentious topic. Comments on yesterday's video were a great example of this. Roughly half the comments regarding work from home say, bro, you don't know what you're talking about, follow the science, people are way more productive working from home. And the other half of the comments, you guessed it, I'm actually watching this video now while I'm working from home, lol. Hope your boss isn't also watching the channel and reading the comments.
Come to work or get out. The Tesla CEO told executives that remote work is no longer acceptable. According to Bloomberg, what do we need to know about this?
You know, you can see the draconian side of Elon Musk here. You know, as companies start to return back to work, he's saying basically you're going to work in the office minimum 40 hours a week. And then if you want, you can work outside the office at home. And you can't even work at a remote Tesla office. If you're in a Fremont office or Fremont factory, you got to be there. So really kind of just putting down the hammer in terms of where he wants his people to be. He wants to see them. He also said that what company has ever shipped a product, like great product from home? He says, can't remember one in a long time. So it's very much putting his foot down on, he wants his employees in the office like 40 hours minimum a week.
Good. As a Tesla investor, you would probably want to hear something like that. Here's a growth company with a high valuation. Get your butts in the office and get to work.
Wow. I actually agree with something that Brian said. Congratulations, my friend. That may actually be a first. Totally agree here. We'll talk much more about this in a moment. Let's see some more of the reactions.
I mean, if you are an employee at Twitter and you've got this Elon Musk figure who is about to purchase or in talks to, at this point, purchase your company, whether or not you believe it's going to go through, you still get a sense of how he might operate that company. Of course, separate from the auto segment, but still, same figure over multiple different companies, SpaceX, Tesla, and then potentially even Twitter in the future.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. Engineers there must be worried if they're working at home. But if I'm a Ford, GM, Cruise Automation, even Rivian, won't you just say, hey, you want to work from home as long as you join the Zoom meetings, make good product, we'll take you. It's kind of an opportunity for competitors to go after those, very highly sought after Tesla engineers, in my opinion.
Correction. This will allow companies like Ford, General Motors, and Rivian to pick up the dead weight that Tesla doesn't need or want. The people who are slowing down the company, the bludgers. Now, I know this may sound harsh, but here's the thing. Working at Tesla is optional. This is a great filter to get rid of people who aren't all in 100% committed to achieving the mission. Like I said, working at Tesla is optional, but not being all in on the mission is not. This is another example of Elon's brilliant leadership. Cull the dead weight. Get rid of the useless people. If you're not fully committed, fuck off and go work somewhere else and get half-assed results. So shout out to Ford, Rivian, and GM picking up all of Tesla's leftovers. It's not really going to help.
Elon says get your butt back to the office. In emails obtained by Electric, the Tesla CEO said that employees must now show up to the office at least 40 hours a week.
Yeah, we're seeing this draconian side out here now. So after months of kind of non-factory workers working off-site, he's saying, come back to the office right now. And in fact, if you don't show up, we're going to assume you resign. It's just really kind of, I'm not surprised to see this by him. This is the same guy who slept at a factory when he needed to get the production of the Model 3 going. So we're not surprised here, but he says that senior execs need to show by example, show their face, be there at the office.
When you hear a story like this, I mean, we were just talking last block with Jason Dorsey, and he follows Gen Z, but he's saying Gen Z does not want to go into the workplace. You want to hire younger workers. If they're demanding that type of flexibility, you've got to question what that means maybe for the workforce, at least going forward.
Oh, I can tell you exactly what it means for Tesla's workforce going forward. No more useless bludgers who aren't pulling their weight. No more entitled, demanding wankers. You notice the terminology. She literally talked about Gen Z demanding this, that, and the other. That ain't how it works. You choose who you work for or choose to work for yourself. If you sign up to Tesla, you know they have an important mission. If you're not all in, it's the wrong place for you. Making demands of the company as if you're so important that Tesla's going to bend over backwards to accommodate you? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this is definitely not the fit for you. Of course, this is the modus operandi of practically every other company, especially big tech and social media giants. If you have three wankers protest about something ridiculous, next minute the company will do a backflip and spend hundreds of millions of dollars appeasing these morons. Tesla, on the other hand, will say, oh, we no longer require your services. You're terminated.
It appears Elon Musk has had enough of the work-from-home trend. In a leaked memo purportedly sent to Tesla staff, Musk is quoted as saying anyone who wishes to do remote work must be in the office for a minimum, and I mean minimum, of 40 hours per week or depart Tesla. In response to that memo that was tweeted from an unverified account, Musk said, quote, they should pretend to work somewhere else.
This is an amazingly valid comment from Elon Musk that really ruffled a lot of feathers, but we have to be honest here. Now, you may be the one exception to the rule. You may be ultra productive working from home. You get so much more done. You would never be tempted to dick around, to watch YouTube, to listen to a podcast, to feed your girlfriend. Don't think about that too much. To do a little bit of sneaky day drinking, to have a massive bender on Thursday night knowing your first Zoom meeting won't be until 1:30 p.m. on Friday. Plenty of time to recover. I know you're the exceptions to the rule, but we have to be honest here. When no one's watching, when you're not held accountable by being in the presence of your colleagues, your boss, your manager, most people may in fact occasionally, at least occasionally, give in to temptation to f*** around and or not be as productive as they possibly can.
Interesting to hear him weigh in on this. By the way, Goldman does cut their target a couple $100, Jim, on supply and what they say weaker demand in the intermediate term.
Did they just suggest that old man Sachs slashed their Tesla stock price target by a few $100 on weaker demand? What planet are these morons on? That can't be right. No one's that dumb. Surely.
That surprises me. Even everyone in the EV space would tell you that they're king, and whatever you think may happen short term, they're the winner for the next couple of years. So I don't know about that. I would not cut the price target there.
Notice Jim Cramer out loud proudly suggesting that Tesla is the winner, at least in the next few years. Spoiler alert, Jim, it's much longer than that, but hey, at least you're starting to see some of the inevitable future. Now, just to be clear, there's no problems whatsoever with an analyst cutting their price target on Tesla stock. But in my opinion, you kind of need a reasonable reason for doing so. And when a company has literally 6 to 12 plus month wait times on every product they produce, and despite massive price increases over the past 12 to 18 months, you need to be about as dumb as a Tesla short seller to think that there's a demand problem or slowdown of demand, and therefore that's a valid reason for cutting your price target. Seriously.
By the way, the autos, I think overall, are going to do poorly, except for Tesla.
Agreed. We're seeing massive, and I mean massive declines in automotive sales, basically across the board, with the one huge outlier being Tesla.
And Tesla, you have to asterisk what's going on in China. But, David, when someone says they have to work or else, is there a possibility, especially if you're not a union shop, that someone in the government gives them a call? Says, wait a second,
I don't know, maybe that seems to be part of Musk's hostility towards this current administration is the fact that he's left out of things because he doesn't have a unionized shop and wasn't invited. It is kind of ridiculous not inviting him when you're having a summit on electric vehicles or renewability.
A union would prevent that. That's how you take advantage of the fact you're not unionized.
Listen, you know where I stand on this. I think he's right. Get back back in the office.
Completely agree, but I mean, why should we listen to a guy like David? It's not like he's making multiple millions of dollars a year after working his face off, being dedicated to his own mission and career, and establishing himself as an authority. Even if I'm not a big fan of CNBS, you got to give the guy credit. But then again, of course, he's totally the exception to the rule. It's not like Jim Cramer is making $5 million a year for, okay. So these people are making 5 to 10 times as much as a skilled surgeon. Definitely not possible that they'd have anything useful to say about work, productivity, building one's career. So we should ignore all of their comments. They're wrong about everything, and everyone should stay at home and keep bludging on Zoom.
Things are not happening.
You know, look, I was at
things are being missed. Everybody's patting themselves on the back and saying that we're making progress in our productivity. I just don't believe it. And neither do leaders of these businesses.
Elon Musk has some new thoughts on remote work. He commented on a Twitter post showing a leaked email to Tesla office employees that said remote work was no longer acceptable, saying that employees unwilling to comply with office work should pretend to work somewhere else. His quote, let's talk about it with Tom Gimbel, LaSalle Network CEO, and Sadal Neely, Harvard Business School professor and author of Remote Work Revolution. So Sadal, let's start with you. You literally wrote a book on this. Now, there's been some back and forth. Was Musk talking to everybody or just sort of top executives in his company? Either way, your take on Musk's comments.
Of course, there's no doubt that he can set the standards for his company as a leader, the best approach he sees fit.
Absolutely agree. Completely fair and reasonable. As I said earlier in this video, working at Tesla is voluntary after all.
And there's no doubt that those who are recipients of this decree will have the option to determine whether they'll go along or not. But unlike the vast majority of CEOs that I've spoken to, he is saying what everyone wishes they could do without losing people. But the fundamental question for me is, what problem is he solving for?
I can take that one. So he's solving for a few problems. One, this is a great filter to get rid of the dead weight, the bludgers, the useless people, those who aren't contributing their fair share, the employees who are not all in on Tesla's mission. And to be fair, there's no right or wrong. Some people, doesn't make sense for them to dedicate the vast majority of their waking hours to accomplishing a mission for the company they work for. Those people don't belong at Tesla. This is a filter to get them the fuck out of the company. Elon and Tesla are all about resourcefulness and productivity, doing more with less. This is a great example of getting rid of useless employees who aren't contributing their fair share. And again, I want to emphasize, you're not a bad person if you're not willing to put in 50, 60, 70 plus hours a week at your job. You're not all in on the mission. Go work somewhere else. But if you've decided, if you've selected Tesla as a company you want to work for, you need to be bought into the mission, all in on the mission. This is a great way for Elon Musk to improve the overall productivity per capita of Tesla employees and get rid of the useless.
What visibility is he worried about? To what extent is this about perception of work or the substance of works?
This is a fantastic question, and clearly the answer is both. There's two elements here. First and foremost is get people into the office environment. Human beings are social animals. In general, we care a lot about what our peers think of us. If you're in an office environment and everyone around you is working their fucking face off and you're busy watching some dickhead on YouTube making videos about Tesla instead of actually contributing to the company, you're probably going to feel some social pressure, maybe even a little bit of shame, and want to step up your game. The same probably can't be said for a bunch of remote working employees sitting around in their pajamas at 11:30 in the morning, dicking around on Zoom and making sure they reply at least once every hour or two to the Slack messages so that people don't realize they're regularly disappearing and not actually doing anything. So the visibility element, absolutely valid. But so is the productivity element. Let me ask a question to you guys and girls, assuming that you're able to be reasonable and rational here. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that, I don't know, an asteroid's about to destroy Earth and we really need to get our shit together and figure out how to avoid this cataclysmic extinction level event. Is it at all possible that some key people involved in this important mission, saving all life on Earth, is it at all possible they may actually find themselves in the same place, together, collaborating, talking, solving problems? Let's just say you were part of this team, tasked with saving all life on Earth. What would your preference be? Would you want to be surrounded with this elite team of people tasked with saving all life on Earth, collaborating in person, getting shit done, talking through problems, making decisions, finding solutions? Or would you prefer to be scattered around the world, collaborating on Zoom, while sitting in your pajamas in bed? Just asking the question. I know some people go, oh man, I much prefer Zoom. But in general, I think you'll find most people, if they're being honest with themselves, if it's the end of the fucking world, I've got a feeling if it's that important, people are probably going to want to be with each other in person. But hey, that's just me. Maybe I'm deluded. And if that's the case, obviously Elon Musk is one of the dumbest people who's ever lived, because he gets on planes to go to factory openings, to talk to people in person, to have meetings with governments, to talk to people in person. He spends time in Fremont, California, and then flies to Texas, not only to Austin, Texas, but also Boca Chica, Texas, to hang out at Starbase and work on Starship in person. What a waste of Elon's time. He's so dumb. Why doesn't he just work from home? That's a really good question, Steve. And why doesn't Elon Musk work from home? Something to think about.
So there's a lot to unpack here, but he's doing something many wish that they could do, but there's a big risk here. He may lose people.
And by people, we of course mean useless wankers, aka bludgers. Jeez, what a terrible risk that is. Get rid of some useless employees. Whew. Careful, Elon. You might get what you wish for.
I think Elon Musk has a track record unparalleled with how many billion-dollar companies he's created, and has a vision for how he believes teams need to work in order to achieve results. And that's been proven time and time again. And so the balance of a non-pandemic remote work culture forever, we've never seen before, and we don't know what those results are. Are we going to bet on the individual who's had a track record unparalleled in business, or are we going to go with a philosophy that may or may not be true?
What a wonderfully valid question.
And we know that teams working together tend to have more creativeness, accomplish more.
Once again, really fair point. Why do I hang out with my friends in person? Why do we go out for dinner, hang out, catch up, talk, business, investing, all sorts of other things, some of the debauchery that's happening behind the scenes that you guys never know about? Why would I waste my time meeting in person with my friends when we could just hang out on Skype together at night? There's value to in person, in my opinion.
And there's actually, and I run a recruiting and staffing firm, that there's less turnover in a non-virtual world. And when you're running Tesla, the leading automobile company and innovator in the world, I think that you have the ability to make those decisions.
So we were speaking with Steve Leisman earlier. He did this huge study just talking about how people are feeling about their jobs and their paychecks at this point. A lot of people are not satisfied with the raises, but a significant portion are okay with it. But Steve was just saying through this, reading through the comments, a lot of people are okay with a pay raise that is not keeping pace with inflation because they are allowed to work from home. That's a huge benefit, not only on their time commitments, but also it's effectively a raise. You don't have to pay for the commuting costs that you were paying before. And with gas prices so high, that's a big deal. I can understand companies saying, OK, we don't want to pay more to employees right now, so we will give them these benefits that they seem to treasure so deeply. But everything swings on a pendulum, and it seems like things have swung pretty far. When it's a tighter job market, my guess is that employers will not allow these same freedoms that they are, at least on this scale at this point. Do you agree?
You know, when COVID hit, many people said that they were saving some $5,500 a year from the commute expenses, the lunches, the coffees, etc., which is significant. And now you add this inflationary environment. So there's no doubt that there's a cost to commuting to work that people don't want. And there's also the time factor, which takes them away from the work-life flexibility that they've been able to achieve with their families.
This is a super fair, ultra valid point. Commuting is a pain in the fucking ass. Once upon a time, I actually used to be someone else's bitch, aka I had a job. My commute was 1 hour each way every day. I was burning 10 hours a week of my life just getting to and from my job. Commuting is a pain in the ass. It costs not only time, but money. Totally fair point. But from the point of view of a company accomplishing its mission, it's far better to inconvenience employees by having them need to commute into the office than allowing them to fart around in bed all day pretending to be working and occasionally responding to chats. Here's another way to think about this. Under which circumstances do you think an intimate relationship has the best chance of thriving, remaining full of passion, love, and connection? Scenario 1. Long distance, remote. You never actually see each other ever in person, but that's fine because you can just talk on Zoom. Or a situation in which you actually spend quality time together in person regularly. Believe it or not, there's something amazing about in-person interactions, whether it's an intimate relationship, a friendship, or, you guessed it, when it comes to achieving results for a company.
But I will say, when I hear Elon Musk, when I hear my friend Tom, there's some biases. I mean, Elon Musk is in the car business. He wants people to commute.
My life, dude. She can't be serious. That's not even worthy of a response. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude.
My friend Tom is in the in-person employment business. So we have to be very honest around our biases compared to the fact, the empirical fact, 30 years worth of data that remote work and hybrid work actually increases performance. It does not decrease it. It increases performance.
Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm sure that in some cases, working remotely for some people in some situations, in some companies, in some industries may actually help them to be more productive. But I'll be stunned if anyone can provide any evidence, any data. And I don't just mean a study of 3 people or of employees working for companies that are essentially useless versus companies that are completely transforming the world and simultaneously disrupting multiple billion-dollar industries. And I'd need to see a reasonable sample size, as in many tens if not hundreds of thousands of people, across a broad range of industries, clearly not including manufacturing and manual labor, because good fucking luck working remotely when you physically need to move atoms from one location to the next. But outside of those obvious exceptions, I'm sure there might be some data. If anyone has any, please provide it. But human nature is human nature, and we have to be honest here. Most people are absolute fucking bludgers. If they weren't, they'd be working for themselves instead of somebody else, because working for somebody else is a lot easier. You just turn up and get your paycheck, and in this case, you don't even need to turn up and you'll still get paid. Most people, in fact all people, are inherently lazy. We're always looking for the easiest way to do things. This is an evolutionary benefit to us. You don't want to be expending energy, time, resources, doing things that are unnecessary, so we're always looking for the easiest path. And if you have the option of not showing up to the office, I think generally speaking, more people than not are going to take advantage of that and be slightly less productive than they could have been otherwise. Just my opinion, of course. I'd love to know what you guys and girls think, and I'm not interested in exceptions to the rule, but in general broad terms. Do you think people working remotely, working from home with a little bit less accountability, not in the physical presence of their colleagues, managers, and boss, are likely to produce more in any given amount of time or less? Let me know below. And just for the record, I actually have personally had remote employees in the past, and I have no idea what the they were doing half the day. They were still getting the job done, but I could have done the work they were doing an entire day in about 1 hour flat, literally. And then again, I am an extremely productive person. And I also just want to address a couple of comments that I heard yesterday, some hilarious ones. The first, of course, suggesting that I'm somehow a hypocrite because I work from home. Not sure if the penny dropped there, obviously not, but I don't actually have employees. So the concept of working from home or in an office, collaborate, it's completely irrelevant to the discussion. Could try Einstein, but you'll have to do a little bit better than that. And I once again do want to acknowledge that in some special circumstances, some employees will be far more productive working remotely. And Elon said in his email, he's open to exceptions. Just explain to him why you're an exceptional talent and it's better for you to work remotely, and he'll personally approve this if it's reasonable. This isn't black or white, this isn't and or. We're just talking in general terms here. And in general terms, I personally believe a company that's literally changing the fucking world is a kind of company where everyone needs to be completely bought in, all in on the mission. Your job takes priority over just about everything else in your life. And I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm just saying if you want to work at a company that's literally changing the world, them's the terms. I think this is completely reasonable from Elon Musk. It's going to be a great filter to get rid of some of the useless employees, the entitled wankers who currently work at Tesla. Hopefully there's not too many of them, but I'm sure that they'll quickly find a job somewhere like, I don't know, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter. So nothing to worry about. And as a Tesla stock investor, I love to see this. One of the hilarious comments I saw yesterday on this channel, who cares about this stuff, man? I'll tell you who cares about this. Intelligent Tesla stock investors who understand how important this is to the future of their company, their execution, their resourcefulness, and their results. A little bit of food for thought. And just finally, a heads up, massive update to my Tesla stock price targets and valuation model available exclusively on Patreon. So check out the card in the corner to join Patreon or the link in the pinned comment. All supporters at all levels gain access to my Tesla stock price targets out over the next decade in the bear case, the base case, the bull case, and the hyper bull case. Plus, supporters at the investor level and above can access my full Tesla valuation model showing all my assumptions. In addition, you'll also gain access to my archive of well over 100 exclusive Q&A videos, loads of other content and perks as well. So see you over on Patreon. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.